Hey, it's Hot Thoughts. We all high, man. We back again. You know, I had to keep the special guests rolling in. This is completely different from what y'all used to seeing, but that's what I like. I like to keep people on their toes, especially when we have history. Like, it's not even just a new guest. This is history right here in front of us, walking, living history. So if you don't mind, go ahead and let everybody know who we got here with us today.
Absolutely. Hi, welcome everyone. My name's Acynthia Villery. I'm from Beaumont, Texas, live right here in Pearland. But just so you know, I am the first African-American female rodeo announcer with the
Yes.
Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo.
Yes, no, that's major. We got to get into that. By the way, shout out Big Money, Texas, too. Both mine.
Yes.
That's my family out there, too. So let's talk about a little bit of the upbringing before we get into that all the way. Like, what was
Sure.
Beaumont like? What was your childhood like?
Oh, wow. Grew up in the North End.
Mhm.
Our family had a grocery store. So I grew up there understanding, I knew what economics was before I even got introduced, first in, first out. We had to do inventory. But I grew up in a grocery store, neighborhood, you know, aging myself, you know, um, when neighborhood kids played together.
Right. Everybody actually came outside.
Everybody came outside. And you had to be in before the lights came on.
Oh, yeah, I remember them
Okay.
days, too.
And, but everybody's mama was your mama.
Mm-hmm. When it really meant it takes a village, like that was when that was really in stone.
Absolutely. And, but I went to Catholic school,
Yeah.
grew up there, raised my kids there for a minute. Then we moved to Denver. I moved with the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo, stayed there a couple of years, and then came back this way to Houston.
Okay. So let's talk. Early on, had you already known that it was something you wanted to do as far as like whether it be the rodeo or just being involved in that whole lane of life? Like, how did you get exposed to that and decide that's what you want to move forward with?
Well, actually, I'm a third generation.
Okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
yeah.
So my grandfather and two of my uncles helped start one of the first all-black rodeo associations in Southeast Texas.
Oh wow.
And then one of my uncles lived in Lake Charles, and he helped build Burton Coliseum,
Oh.
where they did rodeos.
Yeah.
So I grew up going to rodeos. I tell everybody I was probably in my mom's womb when they were going to rodeos.
Right.
And hanging out, knowing what it was. And one of my uncles was a rodeo announcer. He was a rodeo secretary. So at that time, I didn't know what it was, but it was there. It was still instilled in me.
Sure.
And so it was something that I always loved, always hung out at. It was just part of life. Horses and cattle was normal for me.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. We had relatives in Raywood.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going to butchers was normal,
Yeah.
where everybody ate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I am country. Okay.
So
With the city twist.
let's talk. You being a African American woman, a black woman in a
Yes.
male dominated industry at that. What were some of those challenges you faced? Getting out of your comfort zone just to get comfortable as the announcer. Coming into
Yes.
play as far as that goes.
You absolutely right, because let me give you a little history, if you don't mind,
For
when
sure.
it comes to the terminology of cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
See, back in the day, we were blacks, and what were we called? Boys.
Yeah.
But we handled the cattle. We did the cattle drives. We took care of the ranches, especially when they went off to war. So being called a cowboy was derogatory. Nobody wanted to be called a cowboy. They were called wranglers and wrestlers. But today, what? Everybody's a cowboy.
Yeah.
Okay? So, but yes, it is run predominantly with the clear. But 1 out of every 4 was a black cowboy.
Oh, okay.
When you go back in history, we have been around. We just didn't come around. We've been around.
Right.
So with that coming along and knowing that the industry that we have here, especially, it is dominantly, white males.
Right.
But we do have history when it comes to black cowboys. We have the Fred Whitfields, all around cowboy. Right here, not too far, Hempstead. We have Corey Solomon, okay? We have Charlie Sampson, Cowboy Hall of Fame, and Clarence LeBlanc, and so many others that have came and paved the world, that have actually been in the Hall of Fame when it come to it. But with myself, I started off as what they call a rodeo secretary.
Right.
And that means I kept the points, I paid the contestants, I did all the back end. I had to know the rules. So that part wasn't bad, but I still caught flack because, even within ourselves, when it comes to competition, everybody want to challenge you on what you know.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things I made sure I stayed fair, I stayed legit, I stayed with the rules. So nobody could tell me I played favoritism with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So then after that time, that was probably about close to 30 years of doing that.
Oh, okay. So you're very
Yes.
tenured.
Yeah,
that's
because I'm
live.
starting my 39th year.
Oh, congratulations. That's
Thank
major.
you.
Yes.
And so I do their social media pages.
Okay.
Okay. Then we partnered with the PBR, which is the Professional Bull Riding.
Mm.
And they do things a little different, but nice. And so we started doing rodeos in Fort Worth, and they do announcements, and they talk about sponsors and all this. So Valeria, who's our CEO, and Margot Wade LeDrew, who's our national development, Margot said, I need you to help Marcus, who's the announcer, on reading some PAs. Just kind of help him out. I said, okay. So I did that. And then when they had a dead spot, I spoke up. And so after the first show, Valeria said, oh, you ought to think about going to announcing school.
Yeah.
I laughed. I was like, okay, I was just here doing what I do. And I've always spoke. I've always done something, in front of a mic.
Right.
So then after the second rodeo came around, I'm sitting down scrolling through Facebook, and she makes an announcement. She said, Bill Pickett's always one of the first to do things. Let me introduce you to the first African-American female rodeo announcer with the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo. I lost it.
That's a major
That was-
accomplishment. Yeah.
It's going on 5 years ago.
I want to ask you too. So, what influenced your decision from when that, maybe even before the mic came? Like, was there ever a point in time where you thought you would maybe want to be a competitor versus like on the other side of things?
No. No. Now, I used to trail ride.
Okay.
I can ride a horse. I can do that. But to compete, oh, no. That's true grit. And I commend every one of those competitors out there. Anything from riding a horse to ranch bronc bucking horses or bull riding. That takes true talent.
Right.
I know what side I need to be on.
Yeah, I hear. Me too. I need to be in the crowd. No. Okay, so what's some of the biggest hurdles you would say you faced as a woman coming into this industry?
People challenging me on what I know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You
Yeah.
know. Understanding, I know the culture. I know rodeo. I'm not maybe perfect, but I know when something's right or not right.
Right.
Understanding the rules to making sure, because even as an announcer, I have to know what's going on in the arena. So when there's certain calls made, I have to educate the audience to let them know why maybe this person didn't get a score or this person didn't get a time, because to them it looks like they did.
Right. Yeah. Just
So
looking.
I have to understand. I have to do my homework.
Okay. Yeah.
I have to do my homework when it comes to the contestants. Where they are, where they're ranking, what awards they may have won previously, and to be able to educate and entertain an audience the whole time.
Speaking of awards, I want to say I did my research. I saw you have a few presidential
Yes.
awards. Ooh, let's talk about that. How did those come about? How did you feel in the moment upon receiving those?
Oh, wow. I was very grateful, very honored, very humbled. To get a Lifetime Achievement Award, and then I got 2, It doesn't happen overnight. It's what you do and what you give back from your heart and your passion.
Right.
I volunteered many years doing different things, helped. Because in order to be a leader, you have to be a servant.
Yep. You gotta serve
Okay.
before you can lead.
That's it. So I'm very grateful that, 2 different people acknowledge what I have been doing over the years.
Yeah. No, that's major. Definitely want to commend you for that, because a
Thank
lot
you.
of people can't even dream of getting that achievement. So
Right.
yeah, again, hats off to you. So I want to ask you, what are some of the key skills and traits that you think it takes go into being an announcer for the rodeo?
not afraid of the mic, to stay on your toes, because you have to ad-lib a lot. You have to be able to entertain. You can't just talk at the crowd.
Right.
You have to engage. But you have to know some facts. You have to know the events. You have to know the contestants, you know. It's something that you have to have a passion about that comes across when you talk to others.
Yeah, facts.
You know, it's beyond a job for me.
Yeah, it's a passion. That's
It's
what
a
they say.
passion.
Yeah, if you love it, you never work a day in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah, so okay. I met you at the Bill Pickett Invitational, which was like, I guess it was a partner with Spider, which
Yes.
is like Young Thug's brand. That
Yes.
was amazing event. I saw you were hosting with Ben the Don. Let's talk
Yes.
about those vibes that night for you. What was that like?
Oh, man, that was amazing. Because, you know, that rodeo was a little different than my norm.
Right.
Okay. Besides the arena being different, because we were in a arena that normally has bull riding, but the vibe with him and the music and, you know, talking to him, and for me to be able to tell him, okay, he was like, okay, who's next? And I told him, you know, I said, well, they got to beat this score. He was like, okay, you know, and to watch him going, wow, you know, but it was true energy to see everybody enjoy themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was really nice, and to see everybody, our contestants and our staff, you know, like they say, what, dripped in Spider.
Really though, I was like, man, they got the Spider chaps on.
Yes.
It looked crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that was definitely. I haven't been to a rodeo, I say, in a few years, but man, that was such a good event. I can't wait for the next time I see a rodeo. Like,
Right.
that was really fun. It was cool to be a part of, just even as a spectator. And then, you know, of course, with all the vendors and nice things they had going on on the outside of things. Yeah, everybody was all good vibes. It was cool. So let's talk about the Bill Pickett brand. How
Yes.
did you get introduced to them? How long have they been around, and what all entails within that brand?
Great questions. It's been around 41 years, going on 42.
Yeah.
It started with a dream by a man named by Lou Vasson. He went to the Cheyenne Frontier Days, which is a major rodeo, and he didn't see anybody that looked like us. And he was like, I know they exist. So he started doing his research. And that's when he found a cowboy by the name of Bill Pickett. He got the rights to name our rodeo after Bill Pickett. So Bill Pickett actually invented the event, what they call bulldogging, steer wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And that's when you have a hazer and you have a cowboy. He jumps off the back of a horse. He grabs the steer by the horns and flips him. Okay?
Man, he came
Running
up with
about
that.
30
I wonder what made him come up.
And he used to do it, and what he would do is bite him on the lip and flip him with no hands. Because, you know, back in the day before veterinarians, quote unquote veterinarians, had any type of medicine to numb, you know, you would have to bite like a steer on the lip or something to make him numb. You would have to twist a horse's ear, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
So fast forwarded, he started the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo in 1984.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of flack behind it. Oh, it's not going to last. This is a black rodeo. Who going to go? But he had a dream. He had a passion.
Yeah.
And here we are 42 years later. And some of his dreams that he wanted to do was have a traveling museum. Made that happen after he passed. We have a museum that hopefully will be down here at the Black Cowboy Museum.
Yeah.
Okay. He wanted to be on national television. 2000, I believe it was 19, we were on CBS primetime. He wanted to go to Vegas, been there 3 times.
Oh, yeah, checking everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else? Oh my gosh, so much more. He started writing his autobiography, before he died. That's complete. So we have a few more things on the checklist that we're going to make sure happens. But, you know, Bill Pickett's always trying to set the pace.
Right.
Because before there were any other associations, because we're an association, or traveling rodeos, there was none before Bill Pickett. They might have had regular rodeos that were black that existed, but none that traveled all over the United States.
Wow. So let's talk about the traveling aspect. Is it kind of just, we pick a place and we go there, or y'all wait to get booked in these places, or how do you decide on the next location?
Well, we have a standard. We have what we call our Texas Connection, where we're in Fort Worth 4 times a year. Then we have our Legacy, and the reason why we call it our Legacy, because those are the rodeos that we have been doing like 30-something almost 40 years. Denver, where it started off, we were at the National Western Stock Show, and we would do that rodeo on MLK. We go to Memphis, actually Georgetown area.
Yeah.
We do Oakland, which is actually Hayward. We do LA, City of Industry. We do Atlanta, Georgia, okay, out there in Conyers. And we do Upper Marlboro in the DMV.
Oh.
So that's
wow.
our legacy.
Yeah.
You know, before we used to have a lot more markets, and yes, they would say, "Do you want to have a rodeo?" And we'd go,
Yeah.
you know. But now we strategically do things. We have people that want us to do additional rodeos, but it takes money,
Yeah, for sure.
you know,
for sure.
and we have to realize that when we do that, everything logistically has to work, okay?
Yeah.
You can't just go somewhere that doesn't have dirt. It has to have dirt. It has to
Right.
have, you know, what about the Cowboys? Can we get enough of contestants to travel wherever they want to travel? And because we put in added money for the Cowboys,
Right.
they pay an entry fee, but you got to put in thousands of dollars, like $10,000, $20,000 per rodeo for them to compete to get paid.
Wow.
Then you have staff, you know, so it takes a
Money.
lot.
Yeah. Okay. I want to back to you. So, I know after, like, again, just from being a spectator, being at a rodeo, I see it's high energy.
Yes.
You being on the announcing side, how would you mentally and physically prepare? You know, say you have an event coming up. How do you mentally prepare for what's coming?
Study. You know, looking at what we call our run a show. I put that together on our legacy tour, which means what's scheduled, what's happening.
Right.
Okay. If we have any special guests, make sure I have their bios ahead of time so I can speak on them. The contestants, who's competing, where they are, where they're ranking, because I'd look at the stats, where the hometown is, what do they do for a living. So it's my homework.
Okay, yeah. And then what about that? Like, when you're not involved in the rodeo aspect of things, what's something that you do to I guess you could say relax or just detach or just be yourself, or is that just you?
You know, yes, I have our markets, but because we prepare year round, even though we just finished our last rodeo for the season, we're preparing for 2026. So my life doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Okay. I have social media
Right.
24/7. But for my fun, what I like to do, I like to craft.
Okay.
You know, I like a good movie. I like to fish, even though I haven't been
Yeah.
fishing lately. But sometimes I just like to sit back, listen to music, put on candles, read a good book. You know, just get me some good headspace.
You're right. Just some good clarity and peace.
Yes,
Yeah. it's
nice glass of wine.
What? It's nothing like peace. People don't understand.
Yes.
Once you find peace within, I feel like that makes everything just start falling in line for you. Because once you
Yes.
establish that ground within yourself of this how I want things to go, or not even this how I want things to go, these are how I need things to go.
Right.
Then you have that standard and boundaries and everything else that comes in line with that. No, that's really exciting. So how do you balance honoring tradition in the sport while also bringing your own voice and perspective to it?
That's a good question. I'm always going to talk about the black cowboys and cowgirls.
Yeah.
Always. I'm always going to talk about their history and the importance of who they are and why they are. Me coming in as a female, what I look at it as not how great I am, but the fact I'm able to break a glass ceiling so somebody can come behind me.
You. Yeah.
And I heard a lady that was on the radio one time, and she had been first for a lot of different things. She said, being first isn't important if you can't bring somebody with you.
Ooh, that's deep right there. Yeah, we're gonna clip that. That's deep right there. Yeah.
I said, you're absolutely right. So I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing it for the little brown girls, the little black girls that say, what can I do? Or for my generation that say, I can no longer compete, but we can still do things.
Yeah,
Okay,
for
you know,
sure.
our national office is majority African American women, black women.
Oh yeah.
You know, our owner, you know, who was married to Lou Vasson, she's remarried now, Valeria, but that's a black female that
Yeah.
runs this organization.
Lovely. Yeah.
Okay, our national director is a black woman.
Yeah.
You know, so when you look that we can create our own spaces and that we have helped other women do this that used to be with the Bill Pickett, now they're doing their own things,
Right.
then you know you're doing something.
Yeah. I wonder how that feels just within, as far as y'all, within y'all knowing like y'all have created something that flourishes for us. Like this is us, for us, by us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's amazing. Okay, so another question I have, you've also focused on preserving the history of black cowboys and cowgirls and bringing those stories to light. How does your work as an announcer intersect with cultural preservation and storytelling?
Oh my gosh, yes. You know, at the beginning of our rodeo, a lot of times we'll talk about Bill Pickett, we'll talk about Stagecoach Mary, we'll talk about Nat Love, we'll talk about the Pony Express, we'll talk about Buffalo Soldiers, those things that a lot of kids and even adults don't know because they may not read that part of history.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm a firm believer, if we don't tell our stories, who will?
If we don't, and we don't pass it down, then it ends, and that's terrible.
Right,
Yeah.
that's terrible. So for me moving forward to be able to preserve some of those things, I have been outlining a book, and it's actually probably going to be 2 or 3 volumes, because I want to talk about the past, the current, and the future. And because when it comes to rodeo, I call them what they call pockets. So we have people in Beaumont, cheap Texas, okay? Houston, Oklahoma, you know, all over, to where they're famous and good in their area, but nobody know what they did because they don't travel.
Traveling is big.
Right. So I want to be able to go and say, hey, you know, people like Willie Foo-Foo, who was bad to the bone. You know, nobody knows who Willie Foo-Foo is. But, you know, talking about what he did, what he contributed. To be
Right.
able to write about those people that have made a mark. You know, write about the Marilyn LeBlancs. And, you know, we have an awesome woman, Stephanie Haynes, who's a multi champion.
Yeah.
To be able to put them in the book so people can be able to find them.
Right. Yeah. See
So,
that history.
See the
Yeah.
history.
Yeah. Okay. So, again, back about the event. So there was a point in time where like I almost lost it. So I saw it was like one of the events, and I want to say it was like a young lady riding a horse, and it cut that corner fast and it slipped.
Yeah.
In those type of moments, like I'm sure y'all have like maybe training that's like, okay, this is how we're gonna handle this, so nobody freaks out. Like, so what is y'all's process in that moment when something like that goes wrong?
Yeah, because it does. So, you know, we just ask everybody, you know, to be quiet for a moment, you know, if
Right.
we can. You know, call paramedics, of course. Give them time to be able to see what's going on. And then they're escorted out.
Yeah.
But just try to keep the crowd calm. That's the main thing, you
Yeah.
know. And we lower our voices, we lower the music, you know. And then after that, we try to find out an update so we can be able to tell the crowd, hey, they're good, you know, or they're taken care of. Because so many people after the rodeo will inbox social media, okay, how's this person? How's that person?
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, we've seen some things, you know, throughout the
for sure.
years. And you just have to be able to transition, you know. And then once that's done, then you have to be able to get the crowd back up.
Right. Yeah, y'all did that too. Man, I ain't gonna lie, 'cause the first one it happened, I was like, oh my God. Speaking of, it's everything.
good.
Okay,
She's
perfect.
good.
No, I definitely, I didn't want to inbox. I was like, I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna ask. Okay, so what changes would you like to see in the rodeo industry when it comes to diversity, inclusion, and representation? And how would you say you're working towards those changes?
Okay, one of the things that I'm working toward those changes, let me tell you, with the PRCA, that's the Professional Rodeo Cowboy Association, there are only 2 African American black male announcers.
Wow.
2 that have their card. I'm going to be the first woman,
Yeah.
black woman, to get theirs. Okay, even if I don't ever announce one of their rodeos, I'm going to get that card because it is possible. So we're going to diversify. Okay. We're going to continue with, we have a foundation with the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo where we give scholarships and grants to our contestants so they can expand their rodeo talent, so they can be able to rodeo professionally and on other levels beyond Bill Pickett. So they can be able to go through those glass doors and glass ceilings themselves, knowing that they have the right equipment, they have the best horses, they can get the best skills and training, and they're just as good as anybody else.
For sure, yeah. So, being a part of the Bill Pickett team, does that prohibit you from doing things like, you know how they have the big rodeo down there at NRG? Like, are you able to be a part of that, or since once you're a part of like a certain organization, is it just this is the organization that I'm with?
Okay, so I'm gonna answer that twofold. The PRCA handles the big one at the Houston Livestock. So once
Okay.
you have to have your card
For sure.
to
Okay,
do it.
Gotcha.
Okay. Me with the Bill Pickett is by choice
Okay.
because I've been with them so long, and I'm a ride or die till the end. Could I announce other rodeos? Absolutely. But right now, this is my focus.
Right.
Okay, this is my passion. This is where I want to be. One day to be able to announce somewhere else with the bigger rodeos, absolutely.
Yeah.
But right now, we're on a roller coaster that I want to keep riding. I
Yeah.
don't want to be distracted.
I hear you on that, yeah, because y'all are on to something too. Like that was amazing event, amazing talent from
Yes.
announcers down to man, yeah. I'm talking about the guys that I don't know what they're called, like the ones that kind of like they're on the side while the events are going on, but in case something go wrong, they're
right.
man, those guys is cold. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I ain't never seen a person catch somebody off another horse while they on their horse, man.
That's our pickup, man.
Yeah, though. Okay, let's see. Being the first black female professional rodeo announcer gives you a unique platform. What does that accomplishment mean to you on a personal level?
To God be the glory.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it any better than that, honestly. Yeah, that's. So, what advice would you give to a young woman of color that's, you know, they see this going on and they want to partake and be a part?
If that's what you want to do, that's your passion, call me. I'll give you everything that I have and more. Let me know what you want to do. One thing is start studying. Watch videos, but go to rodeos. You need that feeling.
Yeah.
You know, videotape. Get on the mic. I don't care where you are, just get on the mic. You know, that needs to be your best friend. Any opportunity you have to speak in front of anybody, do it.
Practice, yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Looking ahead, what legacy do you hope to leave behind within the rodeo and beyond? And how do you want to be remembered?
She stuck with it and she did it.
Yeah.
I was just talking with my son. And I said, you know, when I first started with the rodeo, I had a lot of people, you know, people love you. And they're like, well, why are you still there? Are you still doing that little rodeo thing? You know, I'm still with Bill Pickett. Now, today, they're like, oh, you still with Bill Pickett? Yeah, put respect on that name.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So leaving my legacy, I want people to understand that what I did and the passion behind what I did is real. Find your passion. The other thing is knowing that when someone sees me, that they know that black cowboys, black cowgirls exist. So I used to do a rodeo event in Beaumont for 11 years. I did a trail ride, Zydeco Festival, and the rodeo.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So, you know, I tell everybody, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk to them.
So when they Google me,
Yeah. Then when y'all Google me, yeah, let them
Yeah.
know.
right.
Yeah, okay. So 11 years you said you did the rodeo and the trail rides in Beaumont. Okay, so that being for over a decade, what are some things that you could say over your tenure of being a part of this atmosphere that have changed within the trail riding atmosphere?
Yeah, let me tell you. When I first started, the skills that Lou taught me with the rodeo on how to promote, how to write sponsorship packets, how to get sponsors, make sure you had insurance and all that, I did that. the culture has changed because to me, it used to be a family event. Everybody came. When it got dark, kids went to the trailers. You had families doing cookouts. We still had the dancing. We still
Right.
had all that. But then as things start progressing, things change.
Yeah.
You know, even Western wear, because everybody was true to Western wear. Now, it's anything.
Yeah, it's like Western wear meets streetwear after seeing
Right.
what we just saw. This, yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty dope,
You
though.
know, and, but the crowds are different. You know, trail riding associations and organizations, you know, had names and respect behind those names. And now it's just, you know, I hate seeing what I see. You know, there's some things that have happened that should never have happened. And I hate the fact of everything that, you know, my organizations prior to me that's been around a long time, to be able to say all the hard work we did communicating what the culture is, and the people that attend now, they don't even ride a horse, they don't understand a horse. They decide this is the name I'm gonna have because I'm mad at you this week. I'm not wearing your T-shirt, so I'm gonna go make a new shirt.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. We can all have a good time.
Yeah. So you would say it's more about fellowship, as
It
like,
used to be.
now it's,
Yeah, now it's different.
yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, okay. Let's see. What's a misconception that people often have about rodeo announcing or the culture of the rodeo that you would like to correct?
That is clear, people.
Yeah.
Or that if there's a rodeo, then it's not to their standards.
Right.
It's a backyard rodeo.
Nah.
We come a long way.
Yeah. Nah,
We've
yeah.
never been a backyard rodeo. And I'm not dismissing that because that's where a lot of us started, okay? And I grew up with them, don't get me wrong. But people have a tendency to put us all in one box.
Yeah.
We don't have a lid, and we remove the sides.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that. So, what book, podcast, or film have you consumed lately that shifted your thinking about heritage, sport, or culture?
Besides my own, that I need to do. You know, I was on a recent podcast, and a young lady out of Oakland, and we were talking about same things we're talking about. And, you know, recently with everything going on, you know, with Beyonce and everything else, it just makes the whole talk even more. You know, even though it's been around
Yeah.
and it's not a buzz, it's real. And we should continue having this talk.
Right.
So I hope, you know, I wish I could give you a really a finite answer to that, but I hope there's more podcasts, especially like yourself, because the only way we're going to know is if we have those conversations.
Right. That's a good point. You brought up Beyonce. I want to ask you, you know, being a black woman in rodeo in the country atmosphere. Now I feel like, granted, you know, our people, we originally started country music.
Right.
Granted, we might have went away from
Exactly.
it, but now I see it looks like there's a lot of going back into the country as far as our culture goes. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm also affiliated with the Soul Country Music Star, which is Margot, who's with the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo, hers. And what we do is we recognize black country artists coming up that have a soul to them. So this is our second year. We have our grand finale this Sunday, actually, in California, where they're going to compete for $10,000. So we go to markets where we have our rodeos. We have competitions. So people that want to sing, that have the soul to come out there. Because if we don't promote who we have,
Nobody knows.
how is they going to be exposed?
Right.
Because we know how hard it is to get up and running in Nashville.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
But we need to have, if they're going to have their CMA awards, we need to have our Soul Country Music Awards.
Yeah, I like that.
You
For
know,
sure.
so as far as the culture, something that we created, that we've always had, okay? Like I said, we're not new to this, we true to
True to
this.
this, yeah.
You know, and regardless how others try to paint the picture, we've always been first.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. So I was talking after that event. I
Mm-hmm.
spoke with, I want to say, the owner of the country music, the Black Cowboy
Well, museum.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Mr. Larry Callis.
Yes, shout out to him for
Yes.
sure. And he gave some very good knowledge as far as like how you were speaking earlier, as far as like how the black people were the first cowboys.
Yes.
But of course, you couldn't be put in a museum or like celebrated at that time. So they kind of just swept us like out of the way and
Yeah.
then introduced all of these other people.
Right.
So let's talk about like that cowboy museum and just things like that.
Absolutely.
That's preserving artifacts. Like, you know, how long had that been in the works, and what can people expect when they go there?
You know, I'm excited because Mr. Larry Callis, you know, he used to sing.
Oh, really?
Yes, he had a band until he had issues with
Okay.
his throat. And he said God told him one day to do a museum. And he was like, I don't know how to do a museum. He said, you need to do a black cowboy museum.
Yeah.
So he grew up. He rodeos. He team ropes. And he started putting together the information for it. We're actually having groundbreaking on November 4th for our new museum.
Wow, that's amazing.
You know, which is huge, I'm excited. And we have people that come all over the United States and even some that travel out the country to come and see us. So to be able to for you to be able to talk to him, that is amazing, you know, because he's very, very smart. But for us to be able to continue that history and take it on a different level, I'm not sure. Did you see the Bill Pickett statue that was bulldogging? It was on the other side.
What? Oh, yes. I saw
Okay, so that's a replica of Bill Pickett. Well, we're going to loan it to the museum when it's built.
Oh, wow.
So we'll have it over there.
Yeah. And again, just another question for you. Like, how do you feel being a part of something so monumental? Like, again, this isn't just like a everyday type of thing that you're a part of a museum and history.
Oh my gosh. You know, when he asked me this year, he said, I don't have any women. I've never inducted any women. He said, I want you to be my first. I was like, oh my God, little old me. Okay. And then he asked Molly Stevens. And that's another lady you need to talk to.
Yeah.
Miss Molly has done amazing things. But for me to be side by side with her, I was very, very grateful, very, very humbled, you know. And once again, like I say, it's not saying how great I am. It's knowing that if a little brown girl from Beaumont, Texas, is able to do this and able for people to recognize her, this is wide open for anybody.
Possibilities unlimited, yeah. No, for sure. Again, I appreciate all the history, the knowledge that you brought. That's amazing. Let's see, I have So what is one moment in your career that you would say will forever stick out to you? Just one, like your most cherished or favorite moment that you could look back on.
I think when I got announced to be the first African-American female rodeo announcer.
Yeah. That's,
And the next would be inducted into the Black Cowboy Museum.
yeah. Those are great accomplishments. Again, I want to, salute to you, and
Thank you.
you put in a lot of hard work. As I said, like, you got it because you deserve it, not because you're lucky. So
Thank you, yeah.
You definitely keep going and keep making our people proud. We need, again, if you're watching this, let this be an inspiration to you that, hey, man, whatever you want to do, if you put your best foot forward and stick with it, you can do it.
Absolutely.
So, again, thank you for coming on the show. If you have any messages, anything you want to tell those people, let them know.
Yes. You know, being country is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But I challenge everybody, you need to do your research on the Black west. You need to understand what we did back in the day, how we moved cattle, where we are today, and how important that made an impact on where you are today. Okay? You need to do your research so when someone talks about it, you can stand up for it.
Right. Yeah.
So when you decide you're going to put on boots, you can wear them proudly.
Yeah.
You know, wearing a cowboy hat is an honor.
Yeah.
Okay?
More than a fashion statement.
More than a fashion.
Yeah.
You know, so do your research so you can have the conversations when someone decides to challenge you.
Yeah.
And I commend you on your research.
Thank you so much. I had to make sure, you know, we're going to do it. We're going to do it right. Yes. Yeah, so y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. I'm going to make sure all of the links to her socials, anything involving what she have going on will be in the description. And, yeah, man, shout out to my new friend, Miss Acynthia,
right.
for coming through on Hot Thoughts TV.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.